Hi, yeah, it's been a while. Lots of water under that bridge. I've lied to you. I told you that the Rove was the last build I was going to do. It's not true. Since I've sold the Rove and since I've also sold my Triumph Tiger Explorer, I bought a new vehicle and went through and built it out for overlanding, but even more so for me to actually live in. So what this is a tour of what I call it's a 2007 Honda Element that I call the Vanadium, which is an element number 23 on the periodic table, which is a malleable transitional metal, which is kind of reflecting how I am at this point. So here's the tour. Starting from the outside in, the first modifications done on this vehicle were paint, basically. I went through and blacked out the greenhouse with a spray vinyl coating. Not too sure about its durability. It looks good, it goes on great, but it just seems to be vulnerable to wind buffeting. So we'll see how that goes. I also shot the hood with the same stuff, and not too pleased with the outcome of that, but it is what it is. And then I took off the front clip and painted it as well because it was pretty trash. The second modification I did was the roof rack. It's made by Aerogenics out of Los Angeles, California. I went with them because they were the easiest for me to source and to get in the very narrow time period I had to go through and do this build. The rack itself is made out of extruded aluminum. The cross members, I think there's 6 of them up there, are slotted to go through and introduce T hardware for me to mount anything that I want to on top. And what I've mounted on top are 2 Apache rifle cases. They are a low profile, long case that gives me plenty of room to go through and store what I need up on top. And then at the very back, that runs the width of the rack, is a Rome 83 liter rugged case. I've used Rome before, I like them. You know what, I'll do a review later on and we can talk about that. With the roof rack complete, I was able to go through then and do the install of my auxiliary lighting that I'll be using on this. And I used aux-beam fixtures and a lighting panel made by aux-beam, which made installation on this pretty slick, very easy to go through and do. All the lamps that are mounted on top, they have all their wiring goes down through the A-pillar of the windshield on the left hand on the driver's side, and then into a control box unit. And then that control box is has a wire that runs up to here actually, and which I'll show you. And From there, I can just switch off and on or program if I want a certain amount of lights to come on at a given time. So I have there's a spot series up there, there's a flood series, and then there's an amber flood series up there as well. And then down on the bottom in the stock fog light positions are a couple of driving lights as well that also operate off of the same panel. Additional modifications include the suspension. I did a mild lift on the car that brought it up about 1.5 inches. With that lift, I added Swift heavy-duty springs in the back, since I'm going to have somewhat of a load going on with this. The lift made a difference. I put a taller tire on this. It's a 29.8-inch tire. I've gone with Falcon Wild Peaks HTs this time instead of a more aggressive tread, because most of my traveling is going to be on highway now at this point. And for those of you who've been asking, yes, they rub. But not to the point to where I'm really all that concerned. I've had rubbing before and have lived with it, especially in the Tahoe, in the Rove. And this, it seems to do okay. What it bought me, though, is about 2.5 inches more ground clearance, which I will appreciate when I go off road. The next big exterior modification is the awning, and this is made by Overland Vehicle Supplies. I think something along that line. I'll put all the stuff down here because I'm terrible at remembering names and that kind of thing. Anyway, the awning goes 180 degrees from bumper to bumper, basically, on the Vanadium. It deploys very easily. It can deploy without the stanchions and the guy lines coming down if it's nice and calm, which opens space up remarkably. Or I can put the stanchions down and tie up the guy lines and secure it if the times get windy, which happened to me when I was in Bryce Canyon, and it worked out very well. In fact, where I'm sitting now with my reversed seat here, and I'll get to that here in just a minute. It opens up a whole patio for me to work and edit my photos and videography and such, and it's man, it just makes all the difference in the world. One last exterior/interior modification is the Eletent 5D, which is made by Rain, his first name, and I'm trying to remember his last name. Is terrible. I was able to source that through Element Driven. And what's cool about all the modifications on this, for the most part, is they all originated here in the Pacific Northwest. I had no idea when I bought the Element that there was such a cult following on this vehicle. So it was pretty cool to go through and source everything that I got. So the Eletent 5D enabled me to use the last 18 to 20 inches or so of space, which I needed because I didn't want to go through and mess with the passenger chair in the cars and sets where Jack, my dog, rides. And so on the other hand, I also wanted something to be very easy and quick to set up as far as my bed is concerned. And so enclosing the rear hatch and tailgate area with that tent made all the difference in the world. The Eletent 5D is the only product that I've seen that actually takes advantage of this space. The tent is well made. I'll do a review of the tent later in a different episode, I think. It goes up together with snaps and Velcro. Could probably use a few more snaps there as it goes, but the tent material is relatively light, but it seems to be sturdy. We'll see how it insulates in the wintertime. It goes up quick. I did the deploy maybe in about 90 seconds as far as putting it all together. It has a huge door in the back to get in and out of. And then it also has a privacy flap that goes over a screen that's built into the rear the rear door flap thing as it goes. So with that, that made it possible for me to look at the canvas of what the Element had on the inside. And from there, I designed the bed. And the bed is a kind of a 60-30 setup there. The 60 part rests inside the Vanadium, and the 30 part actually flips out into the tailgate area. And then I took a memory foam mattress made for RVs, and I went through and I cut it into thirds and set that up to where I could stack it in the back when I'm traveling, and then when I deploy the bed, it all goes down and makes a very nice and very comfortable place to sleep. The bed itself is made out of extruded aluminum. and I went through and designed that and cut it and pieced it all together. And underneath the bed, there's a space there for a refrigerator. It's a drawer fridge made by EDH Bay. I'll put all the links for everything that I've done down in the comments of this video. It's the same fridge that I've used on the Rove. It's the 33 quarts, I think, and it works very well. The fridge itself works off of a solar panel system that I have. Solar panel is up on the roof between the two rifle cases, and then it feeds the solar distribution battery setup that I have over on the passenger side. To complement then the bed and the needs that I have, I wanted a place where I could charge my phone and my Pro Grip and everything else that I'm charging on the vehicle. Pretty handy there. So I wired a USB hub into a shelving unit that I also got from Element Driven. And it works out very well. It's all right there. And when I go to sleep at night, I just pop my phone up there, my watch and wallet and all that kind of stuff, and it's there. Also from Element Driven, though, is really the finishing piece of this build, and that is its cabinet system. So they have a variety of combinations. There's both a driver's side, passenger side cabinet system, and then a platform or a table that can work with that. And if I had the e-camper, I probably would have gone with that. I don't. And with the 2-year waiting list, which is probably beyond my time, I decided to go through and just get the one side and have the bed built into the car itself. The cabinet has 6 doors to it, and it gives me plenty of room to go through and store my stuff, my food, and then I have Jack stuff on here as well, and then I have my hygiene and my pills and a place to put my camera gear. It worked out really well. I took advantage, though, of its structure and added 2 things. I added a swing arm that is spring-loaded for my laptop, and it stows away very nicely up against the side of the car, right behind my Dometic pressurized water system. And then I also have another arm that swings out where I put my iPad so I can watch movies or the news or whatever's going on that way. I forgot both my iPad and my laptop for the shoot, so I'll have to do an insert with the photographs of those things here, but it works out extraordinarily well. Again, I overlooked this, and Austin Hironaka, forgive me, but the thing that really made this possible as far as using the room in this is the swivel base that I got from Hero's Hot Rods and installed it. And so it enables me to flip my driver's seat around and to face back into this area. It is extraordinarily well made. I think it's overbuilt. I did the install on it. I spent an hour and a half grinding off the old original mounting off the chair. So I can attest, I think, a little bit to the rigidity, the strength of what it's able to do. But man, it opened up a whole new way for me to use this vehicle. And I love it. It's my new home, which leads me to the big changes that have been going on. Jack, my Purador, my black Purador, and I are now living in this vehicle, and we're going to tour throughout the Pacific Northwest, and then depending on how I'm feeling, we're going to hopefully make our way down the west coast of the United States and maybe into Mexico. We'll see. I'm still in remission. I struggle sometimes during the days, and when that happens, I'm able to just stay here, camp out, and enjoy where it is that I am. So that is the Vanadium. I think I have an attic piece. It's kind of a triangular hammock where I hang my I put my winter clothes or clothes that I'm not using on a regular basis, or spares that go up into that. And I have a handy little trash compartment. The top is made out of bamboo, and then has a very long sleeve that swallows a lot of garbage. and is able to keep things pretty tidy inside here. I'm going to pick up another one of these that I can use as a laundry hamper, which will help me keep things organized. I'm a little OCD that way as it goes, which I've had to let go of while traveling with Jack because he's not OCD. The tech on the vehicle consists of a couple of items. One I already talked about, which was the solar system here, but I also went with another cell phone range extender from WeBoost. This one is a little bit less powerful than the one I had on the Rove or on the Montero, but nonetheless it works really well. There's an antenna on top of the Roam case. I had to fix a sheet of a steel plate on there to go through and give the antenna the base that it needed, not just magnetically, but also from a standpoint of transmission. And then that goes through a distribution device and then comes up to here where the actual amplifier for the phone is the phone cradle itself. I like that a lot. WeBoost has come a long way. I started using their product years ago when they first opened down in St. George, and you know, that works out really well. The other technology I have in here is this item here that you see on the center binnacle. And it is just simply, it gives me data. It gives me data as far as the attitude of the vehicle, my pitch and yaw kind of a thing that way. It gives me all of my satellite information as far as my location, my coordinates that way, what direction I'm heading, and it gives me satellite fed speed in miles per hour. It gives me altitude and a couple other things I can't remember off the top of my head, but it seems to work out really, really well. So that's the Vanadium. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know down in the comments below. And I appreciate you sticking with me. I don't know if I will be as fervent in creating videos of what it is that I'm doing, but I have created a new blog to go through and follow things, and I'll put the link for that down in the comments as well, okay? So for UTADV, I'm Eric Young. Good to see you. Thanks for watching.